And welcome back. Igor is still going strong in the background here, and Jason from Alcatel One Touch has jumped into the studio. Thank you for joining us.
Thanks for having me, Nicole.
Absolutely. So we've watched your videos during lunch. We saw the XS and the Pop, and you actually brought the new Go with you.
Yeah, so I've got a couple new things from our Go series that we launched here at IFA. So first is our Go Watch. It's a new addition to our wearables, right? A little bit of a more sporty, ruggedized look, IP67, got all these cool, crazy colors. Still have all the same monitoring that you would have with the original watch. I'll take you guys through here. Thank you. So you've got the same simplified app tray. You've got things like heart rate monitoring. You've got your overall, obviously here at IFA, lots of steps. Calorie counter, all those things. Really simple, easy to use, focusing on the health aspect, and again, giving it kind of this fun, ruggedized look. But the really cool thing is, if you remember with our original watch that we launched back at CES.
Yeah, which was a little more business oriented.
Definitely a little bit more fashion,
fashion.
Classic watch look.
Right.
But what was cool there is we took the charging mechanism and put it right in the strap of the watch.
Right.
Made the watch band a little bit more rigid, but definitely made it a little bit easier to use. With this next generation, what we did is we actually included micro USB charging right in the watch body.
That's really handy.
And it actually makes this entire watch modular. So you can actually pop off this top, you can pull out the straps, you can mix and match. There's a variety of solid colors and then kind of these funky fashion bands as well, so you can really make the watch all your own.
You know, it kind of reminds me a little bit of the G-Shock.
A little bit, right?
Yeah,
it's this idea again of just ruggedness, a little bit more fashion forward, giving people accessibility to this kind of great technology, but really, again, letting their personality come out.
Now, you guys have actually, when I came for the briefing, guys, there were a ton of products, like an entire room full, and you had a half an hour, and then I went to an hour because I wanted to see everything. Yeah. I was there a while, and you were kind enough to let me have all my time. But the thing about the whole lineup that they showed at IFA this year is that it was all about customization and the ability to kind of take the backs off and have different. There was even a denim foam with like actual jeans on it.
Yeah, that was so we had, in addition to our Go series, which is a brand new line that we announced here at IFA. You know, we also extended our Pop series, and our Pop series is kind of really this mid-tier, but really saying, again, how do we bring customizability and this idea of allowing users to make their devices their own and really let their personality shine through while still having a really affordable smartphone. And so we brought out Pop Star here at IFA. Pop Star, like you said, has all these really cool customizable backs. So everything from our Eco series that has real wood backs, whether you want walnut or bamboo, or you can go with our leather series. So we have some really great funky leather backs. My favorite is the red leather. It just looks really cool. But then the favorite so far is definitely the denim. The denim back is by far one of the coolest designs that I've seen. But again, it allows folks to really let their personality come out in their devices.
Now, the interesting thing about Alcatel, the reason why I always make sure that I visit with you guys every time is because I love looking at the affordable range of smartphones, because so many people don't want to go on contract, but they want a new phone, right? And your price points, I feel, are really aggressive for the quality of the phone that you get. Can you talk about where you kind of see yourselves fitting in?
Yeah, no, and we appreciate you saying that. I mean, we always love seeing you guys, whether it's here at IFA or CS or MWC, but yeah, we really do focus on this idea of accessibility. That's at our core what we want to make sure that the mass market consumer gets to experience these kinds of technologies, whether you talk about, our Idol series that we brought out at MWC, or in our wearables with Go Watch, or with Go Play that we also brought that's part of the Go series here at IFA. It is about making sure that folks get to see these kinds of things, because when you're talking about multi-hundreds of dollars or hundreds of euros for these flagship phones, it really does create a barrier of entry for a lot of folks, especially when you start talking about contracts and payment plans and these kinds of things.
Yeah, absolutely. So at CES, the Alcatel One Touch was launched, or the Idol 3, sorry, not the company.
MWC.
MWC. Yeah. All the shows start blending together after a while.
I know, it's hard to keep track, right?
But the thing that I loved about it is that when you picked it up, it can be either side.
Yeah, I mean, that was a really cool software feature that we put in. And, you know, again, it's all about what are those little things that you can put in a phone that make it a little bit different.
Well, that's a nice animation.
But
let's do that again to the camera.
All right.
Yeah, that's nice. Whoop.
Obviously, I need to call somebody back. Oops, sorry. But no, it really is saying, you know, look, we can bring really great looking designs, whether you take something a little bit more playful, like, you know, Go Play, or something, you know, obviously a little more fashion forward and sleek, like Idol 3. But at our core, again, you see this accessibility for the mass market.
Absolutely. So let's get into the Go
Play.
The Go Play. Now, there was a feature on here that I'm hoping is still here.
It is still there. Screen quarter.
Oh, screen quarter. Okay, so this is it. I'm gonna hit it. Oh, there we go.
There it is.
So you see, hey, we got the camera guy in there, looking good. So you can see I've got my face in here. And then basically it's for any, like, so we're watching this on Twitch right now. And if you're into gaming, right, you can have this and maybe something else playing in the background if you're doing a screencast from your phone.
Yeah, if you want to be playing Hearthstone and you want to have that going, it's a great way to show you dominating on your friends a little bit and then reminding them about it later by sending them the video.
Yeah, and so it's also for those people who are addicted to Periscope, Sasha,
Yeah.
that you can also use the back-facing camera and then what's happening here to kind of show just everything, because you know the thing about Periscope is you're constantly flipping back and forth to talk to your audience and then show them what's happening. So
right.
I love that you've included this software, or you're going to be including this software.
Yeah, that'll be in this device and probably some others as well. But yeah, what you see is, you know, every device, we try to stay pretty close to stock Android. You know, we did that with Idol 3. You see it here with Go Play, because, you know, again, the beauty of Android is giving folks just kind of the basic of what they need and let them go customize and make it their own. But we do like adding these kind of fun little software features that just take a little bit of extra experience and bring it to the device.
Can you tell us a bit about the hardware of the Go Play?
Yeah, so Go Play has, it's IP67, that's why you kind of see this, again, ruggedized look. So waterproof, dustproof, is shockproof as well, so you can drop it from 1.5 meters and have no issue. Yeah, you do have your SIM tray, micro SD. Micro SD is something that we're going to continue to provide in our devices because we really do believe in that expandable storage. You've got a 2,500 milliamp hour battery, so definitely going to get long use out of it. You've got a quad-core Snapdragon processor in there. It's actually the same Snapdragon processor that we're using in the Idol 3 4.7, so getting really good performance out of it. 8 megapixel rear camera, 5 megapixel front camera, and the really cool thing too is, with it being IP67, is we included an actual physical shutter button when you have the camera app open, so you can actually take this underwater and get underwater shots as well.
Oh, interesting. Very nice. Yeah. So this is really kind of that like affordable. You're going to hate that I'm going to make this comparison, but say like an affordable version of a Sony.
I mean, sure. I mean, if you want to look at it that way, yeah. Again, it's how do we bring the IP67 kind of ruggedized, life-proof-ish experience to a mass market, right? So, and that's what we're focusing on, right? So especially if you're talking about a younger audience, if you're talking about teenagers and stuff like that, I mean, they're hard. Let's face it, they're hard on their devices, right? So. And that's what we're trying to be mindful of here. So give parents especially a chance to give this kind of technology to their kids, but not have to worry about replacing it in 2 months because their kids have broken it. So.
Right.
Yeah.
So can you talk a little bit about where Alcatel is available? Because we're in Europe now, but you're based in the U.S. and our audience is from all over the world. So can you talk about a little bit about availability and what kind of phones are available where?
That's the beauty about Alcatel, right? We are a global brand. So whether you're in Europe, Middle East, Africa, LATAM, we're obviously really big in Latin America, Asia, we sell globally. Idol 3 really was our first global flagship alternative. And that's available pretty much in every one of those regions now. And you will start seeing more of these devices become globally available as we really try to bring these experiences to the mass market.
Very nice. I didn't know you guys were big in Latin America. I like following that market a little bit because I'm maybe dating myself a little bit here, but I started covering mobile technology pre-Facebook 10 years ago, right? So I was covering apps and these types of things.
Yeah.
And I remember having to write these stories about what was big in Latin America. And I would always love to do these roundup articles about horoscope apps. Because it was
There's a few of those.
There's a few of those, and it was globally one of the markets that there was a major trend in apps, and it was the love of horoscopes and soap opera. So has any of that kind of affected, like, I know they're still kind of big into this kind of horoscope and soap opera and football, obviously, but do you kind of spin any of that into your marketing or into the phones themselves with apps or any unique offerings?
I mean, it really depends on each region, right? We are very big in Latin America. Number one in a lot of the regions there, Mexico, for example. But if you look at our overall market share, we're like number 2 in total mobile, if you take even Brazil into the equation. So very big market for us. We've been growing globally, but that does tend to be a leader for us. But in terms of kind of apps and services, it does really... we leave that to each region to kind of focus on, okay, what does our individual consumer need, so that we can kind of customize those little bits and pieces for each region. So yeah, it's funny that you actually mentioned football, though, because that's actually something really big for us in the U.S. And where we've been focusing our brand building efforts. We actually just earlier this year announced a new partnership with Toronto FC. We have a new partnership with the LA Galaxy that we just announced.
That's my hometown. Do you know? I'm from Toronto.
Really?
Yeah, it's my hometown.
I didn't know that.
I was just there a few days ago, right before I flew from Toronto to Berlin, actually.
That's awesome. I love Toronto. Toronto's actually probably one of my favorite cities.
Woohoo!
Probably could lay off the poutine a little bit, but...
Oh, what do you mean? Fries, cheese, and gravy? That's the best. That's what makes Canada... it's going to take over the world.
If you guys want to import that into the U.S., I will not fight you.
The interesting thing about poutine is the English actually also invented a version of it. They call it cheesy chips and gravy.
Interesting.
Less cool name.
Yeah.
little
I say let's stick with poutine.
Yeah. No, I agree. Poutine's a much cooler name.
Yeah, for sure.
So you FC Toronto, and then you're with the LA football team as well?
Yeah, LA Galaxy.
Galaxy.
We actually just announced that partnership late last month, a couple weeks before we came out here. So really looking at these unique opportunities. Football really is a global sport, obviously. But in the U.S., through Major League Soccer and some of these clubs, just the affinity for football has grown enormously over the last few years. And now that we're getting these big name stars like Steven Gerrard and Giovanni Dos Santos and Frank Lampard and on and on, now that we're getting some of these bigger footballer names that are coming in, it's really bringing the sport to life. And what's really cool about these partnerships that we have, it's not just about how do we put our brand name out there, because that's fairly easy to do, right? It's really how do we, again, build experiences. So we love these partnerships because they're going to give us a really unique opportunity to put our devices in the hands of soccer fans, and let them actually experience the product offerings that we have, especially as we continue to not just expand our carrier base, but also our open market unlocked devices, because that is a big trend right now.
Absolutely. I am always shocked how far behind the U.S. is on unlocked phones. I actually just had to buy a Samsung Galaxy Edge S6 Edge Plus, longest name ever. And because I wanted to have one right away. And so I picked one up Sasha picked one up in the U.S. And I can't use it here because it's SIM locked. And every time I'm just like, why?
Yeah.
If I just paid full price for that phone, why do I have to wait?
Well, you should have had Sasha pick you up an Idol 3, because that works perfectly over here. I'm actually rocking both the 4.7 and the 5.5 over here. They've been great, but no, you're right. I mean, the unlock market is fairly new in North America in general. And you saw back at CES where we announced our unlocked e-commerce channel, but that was really about focusing on kind of like these 3 pillars, right? So we've got our carrier channels that we got these great partnerships. We keep expanding those as well, but looking at ways that we can expand our retail channels, kind of this idea of bring your own device, as well as going into unlocked.
So you guys are selling through your own website?
Correct.
And Amazon?
Amazon as well.
I'm assuming eBay? Is eBay still a thing?
No, we focus primarily on our website and then Amazon as well.
How are you seeing the traction on Amazon for unlocked devices? Or are you doing better through your website? I'm just curious because I'm always interested to kind of know where people are buying their devices.
Yeah, so I think as our channel has matured, our direct e-commerce channel has matured, we're seeing a lot more traction there, obviously. Just in general, bringing Idol 3 unlocked to the US has been a real success for us. It's definitely exceeded our expectations. It's kind of funny, actually, with the Idol 355, we launched that first. And then just a few weeks ago, we brought the Idol 347 to kind of build out this Idol 3 family in the US. And we're actually seeing Idol 347 selling right now at like a 3-to-1 ratio to Idol 355. So obviously still a big demand from consumers for kind of these more pocket-friendly devices.
This is the thing. I mean, really, I know 5.5 inch is the highest selling screen size.
Yeah.
I know this, but I can't really fit them into my pocket. It's just not as nice. And I'm always excited for the kind of 4.7, 5 inch, 5.2 kind of, size devices.
Yeah, for sure.
With at this show, there was Sony with their Z5 Compact. So I mean, that's like one of the few high-end flagship, phones that comes in that screen size. But when you look at just that whole segment, there's not a lot of options. I mean, like you guys are like one of the best alternatives for the affordable price. Or you are actually. I just recommended you to a friend who asked for a an unlocked small form factor handset. Yeah,
I appreciate that.
Not so many out there.
It obviously the trend has been larger screen size. But no, it's not something we're giving up on. I mean, obviously, a lot of the devices we announce here at IFA are 5-inch devices, right? Idol 347 is another great example. You'll continue to see us kind of play in both those fields. We're going to offer larger screen sizes for sure. But we're also going to make sure that we keep smaller form factors where it makes sense, especially when you're talking about younger demographic. They don't necessarily need a huge screen. And there is something to be said for something that is a little bit more pocket friendly. I do carry both size Idol 3s, not just because they're,
just because you work.
Yeah, but no, because I do actually love the bigger form factor when, it comes to work. But there is something to be said for the smaller form factor when it's, my personal phone and I'm just texting or, actually making phone calls.
Yeah, so, definitely.
No, it is something that will support both kind of size variants, though.
Awesome. Just promise me you guys won't do what Lenovo did at the show and name your phone plus tab equals fab.
Yeah. I'll just go ahead and leave that one there.
As long as when you guys release a fab that you have a good name for it, I'll be there to check it out.
I will definitely pass the recommendation along.
All right, Jason, thank you so much for taking the time to come in here, show us the Go Watch. God, it's such an easy name. How did I almost forget that? Sorry.
That's cool.
All right, guys, we're going to take a quick break, and then Sasha will be back with you here in the studio, and I'm going to go out onto the show floor to try to find you guys some really cool stuff. So if there is something that you want to see from IFA, hit us up in the chat. Let me know in the comments. My Twitter is Nicole_Scooter. Tweet me. And my running shoes are your running shoes. I'll be out there trying to find you all the cool stuff from IFA. So we'll see you back in a bit.